Hello, everyone. It's another great day here on the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer tournament here on Speed Gaming, and we have another matchup between Scaryolive and zelgadissan. We are actually already getting underway as we have a great matchup in store. I am Cyclone, joined by Days Cloud. How are you doing today, Days Cloud?
I'm doing really great. I've been looking forward to this since yesterday's amazing finish between these two runners, and we are off with a quick check of Sanctuary, which gave us just 20 rupees, and it looked like, if I saw that right, was that a green pendant over in Eastern Palace today?
I missed it. I'm going to watch for it on Scaryolive's side, but I think I saw 2 crystals, and I still didn't catch the color of the pendant because it was too quick, but I'm going to trust your eyes that it was a pendant.
Yeah, so it looks like both of the runners are favoring this kind of new, the Sanctuary start leading into a couple of tree pulls and maybe a bush crab to see if they can get the bombs that they need to get into Kakariko. Zelga there just sees a piece of heart in the lumberjack spot and decides, you know what, I'm not going to be needing that.
No, that's not something that the runners will need at all here. Now, something we should talk about here. The score on the bottom is not correct. We do have winner of the first game. I didn't confirm who was the one the first game, but I can confirm the setting change for this game today is that fast scan is clipped on. It looks like Scaryolive made that setting because zelgadissan won the first game. So we'll get that updated on our screen, but fast scan is turned on. That means that Ganon's Tower, unless there's a really, really strange thing happening somewhere, is not going to be seen today.
So sorry to those fans of the GT Big Key guessing game today. That's not going to happen, but we'll come up with something else for you here pretty soon. Dropping down into the lumberjack hut there, we've got ourselves not the lumberjack, but the Lost Woods hole there. We got the hammer picked up there. And yeah, Zelga won the first game here by, they were in GT at exactly the same time. It was absolutely fantastic to watch. So if you can get a chance, it's one of those that you should put a little star by as something to go back and watch. As he drops into the well here without any bombs and gets bailed out by the second chest there. So
that's convenient. And yeah, a lot of races in this tournament have been really great to watch. There's been a lot of great matchups, and I know of at least 3 ties in this tournament, 2 of which I know have been broadcast. So definitely a great tournament, some great competition. And a lot of great races to go back and watch again if you didn't get a chance to watch them. So definitely check out all the races in this tournament as you go. For those watching on YouTube as well on our playlist.
Zelga is making his way through this, goes down to the bottle vendor there, who just gives him a piece of heart, while Scaryolive has given us the race game knowledge, which is also a piece of heart. A lot of empty pieces of heart just lying around Hyrule right now. That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, the only item we're really picking up so far I've used, well, I'll take that back. We have partial Dark World access. We have our hammer, we have our glove, we now have a sword, and also a bag of magic powder.
That magic powder couldn't have come at a better time there. You already have that hammer there, so that is one more thing you get to route in with the with this early Kakariko play. That you get to get Magic Bat out of the way and just not have to think about him for the rest of the time.
We just have to find a magic jar somewhere. We could have a 5-minute Magic Bat check. Let's see if you're lucky to get half magic here. Oh. No, we don't have enough for the bottle vendor. We can't.
Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, that's an early Magic Bat play with nobody having magic. Oh, that's a shame right there.
Well, you see a small magic jar somewhere, you can check it.
That's hard to find though in this part. That's one of the advantages of an Uncle start is that you're going to be able to pick up those 2 early things that, oh no, Scaryolive has soft-locked himself in the chicken hut there.
Oh no. You don't see that very often, but I think that was probably a case where he went to show off a chicken clip and just, needless to say, didn't have a good situation result from it.
That's something that can happen. There's one of those things that you almost never see it. And to be honest, I think it's the first time in 2 years of watching that I've seen someone soft lock in the chicken hut, unfortunately. But yeah, oh, that's a shame. So he's going to make his way down to South Shore here to start checking all of these chests down on the bottom of Lake Hylia and such.
There is good news. I guess you could say next time he goes to Kakariko, the chicken hut hole is already opened up, so that works out nicely.
It's true. And the good thing for him there is that going to South Shore gets him his hook shot there in the dam chest. And now he gets a chance to go here and drain the dam and find out exactly what we're going to have as well.
So it's worth knowing that Death Mountain can be accessed with the items that we do have available at this point. Now, again, it's not in logic. You need the flute or the lamp by logic to get up there. But we are physically capable of moving a rock that will allow us to access the mountain.
And that is something that you could really do right there right now. And if you wanted to, you can actually have access to Hera now. You'd be hoping that it's not fire locked, but it is an option available to you. If you want to get a crystal within the first 10 minutes, that's something you can do.
And there's our bow to add to the items that just make this seem like a very nice scene so far.
No, we
and
have another quick one. Yeah, that's Dark World access there, at least known Dark World access. Scaryolive, unfortunately, with that chicken clip, didn't pick up his gloves, so he's got to make another trip back into Kakariko here eventually.
And those gloves, I think, were in Blind's Hut, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine Scaryolive will take too long to go back there, since they've left both the dam and the Blind's Hut there. Not the dam, the well and Blind's Hut there available.
And Scaryolive is going to give us a fake flipper. We don't have the flippers yet, so the way he set that up is by hopping into the water just before he did a screen transition. The game, when you change screens in that way, just thinks, oh, you're in the water, you must have a flipper, so we're going to let you continue. The downside of this is if you get hit while you're in the water, you're not going to have a fun time.
The automatic game over there can be a real bummer there, unfortunately, and he only gets himself a piece of heart as well. Kind of an interesting thing. He decided to do the fake flipper to Hobo, but he didn't go to Ice Rod Cave. So he's either about to go down there to get to Ice Rod Cave now, or he's just going to orphan that location. I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to do here.
No, he's probably... I wonder if he's actually heading up to the Waterfall Cave to check the Moon Pearl. And that seems to be what he's doing. He can't get the King Zora item yet. Not a chance. He's nowhere close to the money. But he can definitely check the Waterfall Cave, which looks like he's going to do. And then he can check what's on the Zora ledge. Almost getting hit by that fireball. Had to dodge that. But once he has that information, he can leave and come back later if he needs King Zora's item.
Maybe this is another way, since he doesn't have the money, to be able to just go straight to use the water walk to go back over to Ice Rod Cave. That's part of the fun of the tournament here, is that you can see some less than common strategies from these runners here. I mean, to get this far, you've got to be good, so these guys know exactly what they're doing.
So I don't know if you noticed, but Scaryolive did pick up the Quake medallion. So we should explain that there are 2 dungeons locked by one of 3 medallions in the game. To the left of the Quake medallion on the tracker that Scaryolive has lit up are Bombos and Ether, and then of course Quake is the 3rd one. One of those will open Mizumara, one of those will open Turtle Rock. It's possible that one will open both of them. We don't know yet. There's our Master Sword, 2nd sword for zelgadissan. So once we know what medallions open what dungeons, which we'll find out later as we go by those dungeons, we'll know what medallions we need.
All right, and with that, I guess zelgadissan is going to head on down to Mini Moldorn Cave, and at that point, I wouldn't be surprised to see him take an immediate left turn out of there and go back up and just start checking Hype Cave, because he's about to get his Moon Pearl, which will give him Dark World access. Yeah,
I think he's going to check Hype Cave while he's here. I don't see why he would put that off at that point once he gets that Moon Pearl.
I mean, Zelda is well known in the community as a extremely high level, high execution runner. I can't remember if he won the spoiler log tournament or if he came in 2nd, but he finished very highly in the spoiler log tournament this past year.
As an administrator of the spoiler log tournament, I can actually tell you that he did I think he made it to the semifinals, and I believe lost there. I want to say he played Pink Kitty Rose, but I could be mistaken on that. But I know that the final came down to Kyong and Pink Kitty Rose, so I think he made it to the semifinal.
Okay. I knew that he got very, very, very far into it there. And on Scaryolive's side, this is not something you really want to see. He's heading into Eastern Palace without getting that bow.
Well,
I don't know. Well, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it is a pendant, so probably not that big of a deal, but no.
It's a bit questionable because we know the bow could have been picked up by now, but at the same time, he had that soft lock and he has to go not knowing where that bow is, obviously. On the one hand, this is a pendant, and it might not be a bad idea. Let's stop with the map check for a second, because I got red crystals in the lower half of the map, Ice Palace and Misery Mire. I saw on that. Did you see where the pendants were?
The pendants were Skull Woods and Pod. So that bow that Zelda picked up in the back of Escape right there is only going to be necessary unless this is a ped seed for Ganon's Tower. As we pick up flippers out of Hype Cave, a little bit of money, some bombs, a little bit more money, and some more bombs here. So the flippers are nice, though.
So that was the Cave of Disappointment, but Thief was feeling rather generous today.
The flippers are definitely a required item there, so because we're going to need to do Swamp Palace today.
So yeah, back to the thought I had before. The fact that this is a pendant on Eastern Palace suggests that this might not be as bad to not have the bow here, and this might be why Scaryolive is doing the item dig now, thinking, I probably don't need to come back here. Let me see what items I can get access to here. And he's hoping that a useful item is available in the front so that he doesn't have to walk back in here.
And then do need to correct myself on one thing. I did say that that bow wasn't going to be necessary until GT. This is fast Ganon settings, so we're not going to GT today.
Yeah, and one of the rare things that could happen that could cause GT to still be necessary is if 3 swords were located in Ganon's Tower. In that scenario, in fact, there might even be a situation where all 4 could be, but I know at least 3 can be. And in that kind of scenario, you would have to go to GT to pick up the Master Sword. But that's not going to happen. We have 2 swords already.
And Zelda is pushing this early pod dive very quickly here. I mean, he has more or less the items he needs to complete this because at this point in the tournament, these runners don't really care about having a light source. If they can get through these dark rooms without it, they can do it with no problem.
Yeah, you're going to find a lot of runners at this level. Like as soon as you hit the top 64, every single runner is a scary runner. There's no easy opponent in the entire bracket. Even for the seasoned veterans, there's no easy opponent here. So everyone in this top 64 definitely is capable of doing dark rooms and will do things without the lamp or even for the fire rod, because the fire rod can be used too, as a method of just going through, like sequence breaking and doing things out of order. That's what a lot of runners at this level will do.
And it looks like going through, for Scaryolive there, going through Eastern Palace got him nothing of interest there. We found the single arrow, so if you want to meme about that, it is available. But yeah, there was nothing there for him.
I will allow chat to do the memeing. We'll move on and see what Scaryolive finds up at the Escape. I don't think we've seen the front of Escape yet, if I remember correctly.
No, this is Zelga's in pod at 13 minutes. So like he found his Dark World access and immediately started going in here. This could actually work out for Scaryolive pretty well here because he finds the mirror at Uncle. That's a fantastic find at this point for him.
That could be big. Let's see how long Zelgadissan avoids that, because for a dungeon like Swamp Palace, you have to have the mirror to get in there. So that could be big later if Zelgadissan will have to make time to head back up to Escape area to do that, to get that item.
Now that is just a fantastic find there in the Uncle spot, because I mean a lot of times what runners want to do is they want to get into the Dark World early, hopefully find the mirror, and then be able to very efficiently mirror back and forth and make all of those extra checks that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. Scaryolive now has that ability, where Zelda might put off the escape sequence till much, much later, hoping to find that mirror.
That mirror can be a bit of a blessing and a curse at the same time, though. I actually did call another race where the mirror ended up being a pivotal item in this tournament. And it turned out that all the items for Go Mode were clustered in the same spot on Death Mountain. I won't spoil too much information about it beyond that, but it led to a really close race as we find the Fire Rod, by the way, in Palace of Darkness.
That is yet another thing, and you know, I just realized that Fire Rod gives you access to pretty much all of your pendant dungeons.
Yeah, Pedestal, are you in play? Yeah, definitely.
The pedestal has woken up and yawned. At least it might go back to sleep very quickly, but it's there.
Let's have the book for some thinking on either side right now.
Now, Zelda is showing off his pod dark room here. Not the easiest one there, especially with low hearts. He can use his sword. He can use the sparkles on the edge of his sword here to find kind of where he is. Gets a compass there out of that first chest.
Boring. Scaryolive finds a piece of toilet paper at the bottom of the escape. There's our cape.
And it's a magic cape down there, so that gives Zelda at least one additional check on top of everything. And our friend Mr. not Trinex, our friend Mr. Helmasaur has our last item there. So, gonna see here. That death warp kind of makes me think that Zelda's just gonna go ahead and do it. And, yep, there he goes.
I don't know if it's safe to say the writing's on the wall already, because it is a little early to suggest that the pedestal is the play. But maybe he's thinking with all these items and knowing where the pendants are located, maybe it just makes sense to go check this item. Or maybe he just wants to clear this boss because he's seen this boss be pivotal too many times.
It's hard to say here exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is an early push for this, for a pendant. Especially when you have crystals open. Now, the big thing for him is he doesn't have the mirror, so he doesn't have pod open. There's things that he could do.
Pod.
Swamp open. That's what I meant to say. But Olive, on the other side, is going to go ahead. He's going to get his Dark World access here pretty immediately. He'll be able to kind of clear out most of the left side of the Dark World of Hyrule.
Yeah, Scaryolive is doing those Kakariko checks now. The chicken clip swag mistake cost him a little bit of time, but he's going to get back on track and get all the items that zelgadissan has, and he will be ahead slightly in the item count in that sense, because he'll have the mirror that zelgadissan will not have. Now, we'll see if this, again, like I said, turns out to be a blessing or a curse, because it will give him access to a lot of other item checks, where, for example, Graveyard Ledge, Cave 45, Checkerboard Cave, but this is extra time that's spent in making those checks. We'll see if that comes to help or hurt him, depending on what's there.
Look at using that fire rod to get through the bottom down here of Pod here, getting in the basement without too much problem. Now, he'll make his way back to Helmasaur, and he'll have a nice 5-heart Helmasaur fight with with Green Mail. So, you know, this is going to be tight.
All right, time for the king. Let's see if zelgadissan finds another useful item here or not. So, needless to say, we're just going to ask the Helmasaur King, he's a very shy guy, to remove his mask, hiding his beautiful face. We want to encourage him to come out with it. There it is. Isn't it nice to... Oh, no, he's attacking us. And that'll take him out. Here's our magic bat check, by the way. I curse you by removing your money.
Alright, and Helmasaur on Zelga's side, they just gave him 10 arrows and a blue pendant, so neither of those two checks really paying off there, and Scaryolive's deciding to save and quit out of the magic bat, and he's going to go check Hype Cave first. Now, this actually is going to work out for him, because this will give him swamp access immediately, and he'll be standing right next to it.
The thing is, will he want to go in there? Because this is the dungeon that a lot of runners prefer doing go mode. They want to find all the items before they even step foot into swamp. because we're talking about a 3-minute difference in time easily, if not more. So we'll see if he decides to make that play, and if it turns out that there's something in Swamp, this could be the play of the match right here.
Definitely. I mean, I'm of the opinion that if you have the items to complete the dungeon, yeah, you prefer to go mode Swamp, but especially this early, I'm kind of the opinion that the seed might be telling you to, get in there quickly. And if you're wrong, you're wrong, but you at least get the crystal.
It does happen, and you're absolutely right. I'm of the same opinion. If you can finish the dungeon, do that. But at the same time, there could be cases where you get that quick access with all the items early, and that just starts to be a red herring. I have seen that. So he's heading in the direction. He's heading in the direction of Swamp right now. This could be a Swamp play, like you said. It is 100% a Swamp play. He's going directly there. Do not pass go. Go straight to Swamp.
I imagine Scaryolive, to be honest, is probably going to be feeling a little bit, I don't know what's the word, nervous since that chicken clip went bad on him here. I don't see him going out of his way to check anything that is going to be kind of out of the ordinary. He's just going to want to try to blitz through as many dungeons as he can right now because he knows who he's playing.
Yeah, he knows zelgadissan is a really skilled opponent. And zelgadissan has competed in past tournaments. I remember him as far back as the spring tournament in 2018. So zelgadissan is a very seasoned runner, and Scaryolive for sure knows this. He knows he has to be on top of his game to compete with such a high-level opponent.
And Zelda is giving us that first look into Skull Woods there, deciding not to go outside of the very first chest into it. Instead, he's going to go and check over here to the Bumper Cave, check to see if that map that that cape that he pulled out of the Dark Rooms and Pod is going to be useful for him. And Survey says, hey, do you want a fairy?
That bottle could be important, though. He's getting that for Sick Kid check.
Hey, I completely understand that right now. Like, you don't necessarily know when that next bottle is going to be, so... And that, if you want, that gives you an additional 5 hearts to go and fight the moth with, because doing a green male 5-heart moth fight is just not the best. Even so,
zelgadissan is such a skilled runner. I don't think he's picking it up for the fairy. He's picking it up so he can check Sick Kid. This is near the village, and he doesn't have the mirror yet, but as soon as he goes back to the light world, he would be able to go to the village, and he would be able to check to see what Sick Kid has. That's something that Scaryolive cannot do yet.
That is very true here. Scaryolive is going to be able to give us a few more checks here in Swamp. Unfortunately, this is one of the downsides of going into Swamp early is if you don't have boots, this is a long, slow, splashy walk.
And you're going to have wet feet when you're done. So piece of heart in the chest in the lower section. We found the cane of Burna, by the way, on zelgadissan's side in the C-shaped house.
And so that gives you a good old Spike Cave check if that's something that you're interested in. Throws that into logic for us. Again, the chess game is just going to give you a piece of heart.
It's worth doing as well. The Death Mountain is still not in logic. We don't have our flute. We don't have our lamp. A fire rod is not part of the advanced logic because I don't believe there's any torches in the room leading to Death Mountain. It's from where the old man is. So it is still not in logic. And all these extra items mean that's more you can do on Death Mountain as soon as you get up there. The fewer trips you have to make, the better.
Scaryolive made a mistake there.
He did not mean the mirror, I don't think.
Yeah. He just flooded the key.
Oh, then he's gonna have to leave the screen and reset it completely.
Yeah, yeah, that's an unfortunate thing there. He's gonna walk back in. This is losing him even more time, unfortunately.
He's probably gonna go back and just do the boss while he's here, and then come back and gamble on the left side later. That's what I think he's gonna do.
I think he got the key from up here first, so I don't think he can even get to the boss right now, unfortunately, because I think that key is just still going to be under the water.
We have a flute and a tempered sword on Zelgadissan's side, by the way. So Zelgadissan continuing to pick up items. Scaryolive is able to go back and get the key. Did not have to reset it completely. I thought you did. So he is getting the key. He is going to flood that chamber again, and he is going to get the left side done.
Now, the thing that you're kind of hoping for on Scaryolive's side is you've got that mirror. Nobody else, and right now Zelda doesn't. If you're rooting for Scaryolive, you're kind of hoping that he can go ahead and do this. Now he's having to kind of damage boost through the spike there. There's ways that you can get around that, but his current item setup makes hitting this switch actually quite difficult. He finally gets around it, and he's going to be able to check left side now.
I think nerves are starting to play a factor for Scaryolive here because he's making several mistakes that just don't seem to add up to how he normally plays this. I think he's just starting to get a little nervous knowing that he's in an elimination match right now and that losing this means he's done, and he's probably getting more nervous every mistake that happens.
No, I would agree with that. It's when you're fighting for your tournament life there, yeah, the palms can get a little sweaty, the fingers can occasionally miss menu. You can do a whole lot of things there that makes this a very, very difficult way to get to try to get through things. And he's down to his last heart, gonna use a little bit of game knowledge there to go to the bottom of this room and pick up the additional 3 hearts down there.
I've never actually been to the bottom of that room, so that's good information.
I back in the old days there when I was playing this as a kid, yeah, I used those 3 hearts quite often. Unfortunately, this left side is just not paying off for him. He picks up a big key and the map, so I mean, hopefully there's something in the big chest to make this little time sink there work out for him.
The good news is one way or the other, he did have to do this dungeon because it is a crystal. So he is playing correctly by doing this dungeon right now. What he has to hope is that the play in the Palace of Darkness, I don't think there was anything useful I can recall in Palace of Darkness. So he has to hope that Palace of Darkness play is something he ends up not doing.
Palace of Darkness had that fire rod, so he's gonna have to go in there at some point.
He will have to, yeah.
It's this right now. Yeah, Zelda is starting to build a bit of a cushion here. The biggest question for him is when does he make the escape play? Like, he's gotten so many items at this point that going to escape is, not a big issue.
He's got so many items that I would say that it could be a little while before he gets back to escape. I have seen runners go back and check escape in hour 5 and hour 10 into the race. And very often it's a case where there's our book, by the way, in Swamp. It's a case usually where the runner just knows they're behind. So this could be a case where Zelgadissan could put off escape for a while and then think, oh no, Scaryolive could have had this a long time ago. And then Zelgadissan could be looking for Scaryolive to type "done" in chat, expecting him to finish first. So this could be a case where he feels behind when he eventually goes back to get that mirror break. Just because of the way things go, he could end up still being way ahead. We'll have to see what happens.
It's still early. There's so much that can happen in just a short time here. So far, it looks like the best thing that Scaryolive has picked up out of Swamp is the book. And other than that, we'll see. I mean, you open up Desert Palace, but that's probably not what you're looking for.
That's literally a 50-50. So Desert Palace, because if that big key or even the small key is on the torch, you're going to have to go to the right side most likely, unless the big key is in the chest, and if you're gambling, the Desert Palace doesn't have anything.
Oh, and Scaryolive having to play menu simulator here with a hammer Argus fight. This is not fast.
That is something that Zelgadissan will be able to do a lot quicker because Menu Simulator 2020 is no better than Menu Simulator 2019. It's almost exactly the same.
And to be honest, I would be very nervous with this layout there of accidentally hitting that mirror or something there. It's this is not a fun menu. Sometimes it's not terrible. This is a terrible menu to do this.
Oh, that is the cane of Samaria for Zelgadissan. Stumpy gives a bright red cane.
Everything's coming up his way right now. Yeah, he's in a great shape right now. Now we still are missing some medallions on his side, and we're still missing the fire rod on his side. But yeah, all in all, things are really coming out well for him at the moment.
Scaryolive survives the menu simulator shenanigans and is going to be getting his first crystal very shortly, I believe, unless he has any problems with his hammer attack on Argus.
Hammer doesn't seem to be playing nice with its hitbox right now.
No.
And maybe just use the spin slashes. There he goes. Okay, he's gonna go with the spin slashes as Zelga is freeing our good friend Mr. Duck.
And Zelgadissan now has access to Swag Duck Air. Call for your transportation needs to one of 8 predefined points within the mystical land of Hyrule. Dark World transportation not included. Please do not call. Duck will not respond until you defeat a wizard. Sick Kid turned out not to be anything. Unless you're looking for Zora money.
That's one more thing that you could check that the others can't right now. So Scaryolive is going to get at least the knowledge over here of the Bombos tablet. Find out if this is something he's going to be coming back for later.
Zelgadissan,
we'll have to see.
Zelgadissan about to be cursed. Zelgadissan about to be cursed with financial quote misfortune. We're getting an Agina check, or a desert check rather.
This will tell us right now if we're gonna need our boots today. And Scaryolive, if this is not boots locked, he's gonna regret not going to Agina there a little bit early, because that would be a Master Sword, which would make his next fight a lot more fun than trying to do this with Fighter Sword.
It would have helped on Argus too.
Oh God, yeah. It's one of those timing things in this game where things occasionally come the moment after you need them.
Did you say occasionally?
Okay, yeah, almost every time.
Usually. So is the big key in the chest? Will this be a boots locked dungeon? It's a small key, so not yet. So Zelgadissan is going to sequence break. Well, it is still a sequence break because it was in the dark, but rescue the old man and get his heart.
Yeah, on Scaryolive's side there, we are not. It is not a boots locked dungeon at the moment. Both of the keys are there. Unfortunately,
nice.
He still doesn't have fire.
Yeah, that would be needed for the boss.
So this is a one-way trip here. He's gonna get to pick up this other chest over in the big chest here, over on the west side. Looks like it's actually gonna be an item though, so that's kind of nice.
And he's gonna finish out this part of the dungeon because the top half of the dungeon you can come back to when you go to Misery Mire, just get straight there. So he's not worried about doing the top half right now. We did find an item there. That was our shield.
When hopefully he's about to go over to Agina here, so we'll find out real fast if he's remembering that he can't go to the back yet.
Did he see something on the ledge that he's going to get? Because otherwise he'd be able to use the mirror.
Yeah, this is what I'm concerned about. I'm hoping that he's just gonna jump down from this ledge here, because there was nothing there. Nope, you can't do this yet. Oh no!
You can't do this.
Oh nope, you're going that way. Okay, thank God.
Scaring us here.
Oh yeah, that was not something I was wanting to see there. Now Zelga's up on the mountain here, and he did a quick spiked cave check there. I didn't quite see if it was anything useful, but now he's going to work his way over to East Death Mountain and just start raiding Paradox Cave.
I don't see anything else lit up, so I'm assuming it was not anything useful. Scaryolive now finding out I could have had this a few minutes ago.
we're about to hit the great wonders of Paradox Cave. Why is it called Paradox Cave? Because if you think about how this cave is set up, it makes absolutely no sense. But moving into it now, you're going to find yourself 7 items here. We're going to start with a lamp, which puts everything back in logic now.
Yeah, that lamp usually results in a loud thwacking noise of everything snapping back together. Perfectly normal.
Pretty much there. You don't have to worry about that one too much. Of course, that does also mean our good friend Mr. Pedestal is now 100% in logic, so yay.
Yay for logic.
Alright. And Scaryolive is now going to make his way into world entry there over by the village of outcasts. He'll start to be able to raid through most of this as well. Ooh, that's the ice rod there on Floating Island there. So that's one less thing that we're going to need to find. That's a fantastic find for Zelda, and that's just one more of the things that is kind of making this a bit of a runaway at the moment for Zelda here. Scaryolive, he's going to need to make a play pretty quickly to get back into this.
You could say that it's a runaway, and in a sense, I probably would agree because of some of the mistakes that have been happening on Scaryolive's side. But at the same time, let's look at it from a different perspective. That ice rod, you need the mirror to get. Zelgadissan has not been to escape to get the mirror, so that's still an advantage that Scaryolive has that Zelgadissan does not have yet. If Zelgadissan can find his way to all the other things that he needs before Zelgadissan finds that mirror, this could put him in a situation where he can get back into the race.
You are 100% right here. Like, this entire race is kind of depending on exactly when does Zelda go back to escape there. As he's trying to set up this Hera pod, having a little trouble getting the exact spot there. Gets it at the very last second and drops into the pot for a quick portal up to the top of the tower.
And the reason this is allowed is because that hole at the very top, the 3 on the left side, that very top hole is how you normally fall into that pot. That is why this is allowed, because it is legally possible to get into that pot.
And just like that, picks up the 2 items that he needs out of Hera. That's a fantastic little quick tower of Hera. It's going to be done in basically 2 minutes.
Yep, no coffee break in the basement today.
Time for everybody's favorite little worm friend who always plays nice.
Oh, I've seen him be a bully recently. It's hilarious when it happens, in a way. Anyway, it didn't last very long.
It was taking nothing from him that time. It just went ahead and took him out in very, very neat order. And picks up his 2nd crystal there. So he's got 2 crystals and a pendant right now.
Scaryolive, meanwhile, is doing Thieves' Town, which is something Zelgadissan has already done. The pun, I remember, has something to do with tap dance, so I didn't catch the exact pun because I've never seen it before. So we'll get to see it again in a moment on Scaryolive's side.
The interesting thing here is we haven't found Mitts yet. So in Zelga's side here, there's not too many places that those Mitts could still be. So at some point, he will be making his way into Escape to probably pick up his mirror. Now, if he picks up Mitts in his chest, things could get really screwy really fast. Instead, only the Bombos medallion, which is a pretty good find.
That can still make things really screwy really fast. We'll have to see if Zelgadissan prioritizes the check of Turtle Rock now that he is one of the pendants. That is information that could be useful now.
Yeah, we still got to find those Mitts, though, before we can do anything like that. That's the Mitts lock so much in this game. And, kind of looking at it, yes, bringing this up. we actually have a very good pendant layout here. If Mitts wanted to put themselves on Ped,
oh yeah,
they could be there today.
they 100% could be on pedestal. And frankly, the way that the pendants came up so quickly, I would not be surprised to see him there.
Would be fun. It would be a laugh. I would chuckle.
Oh, I would more than chuckle.
Unfortunately, Scaryolive, he had that book. He could have walked up to the pedestal there at one point and just jumped into the see if that was something. But didn't give us that check here, so we're sitting on this side of the screen speculating.
In any case, we're gonna get to see another look at the pun on Scaryolive's side. A tap dancer's routine runs hot and cold. And the slow clap is intensifying.
And what's probably more interesting is we're also going to be getting this Zora check up here, which is a little bit of new information. It's one more of the locations that we could find are bits or some sort of progression.
Well, we'll get to see if King Zora has the mitts right now, because we're going to look at what 500 rupees will buy us today. So we walk up to the big fish, stand on the little ledge in front. The earth quakes, the fish appears. 500 rupees are deducted from your bank balance, and you get the bombs.
Thanks, Zora.
Thanks,
That'll be useful.
166 per bomb, very nice. We did get a check of the hobo, by the way. I don't believe it was anything useful, if I remember.
And Zelda is taking a quick turn out of his house, and he's headed right up into the escape sequence here. He's going to enter this mirror right now.
Yeah, the advantage that Scaryolive had with the mirror is now going away. So Zelgadissan can do Swamp Palace if he wishes to, but the question is, will he do so at this point, knowing there's very little left to get to go mode?
I imagine he goes directly to Swamp Palace after this. Maybe he finishes all the back of escape here, because if you're here, you're going to want to do it now. But this could work out for Scaryolive, is maybe those mitts are in Cave 45 or something like that.
Well, I'm just looking at the tracker for Zelgadissan right now. I'm kind of paying attention to that at this point, because I'm looking at the tracker and thinking, at this point, depending on how the mitts are found, if it's found by a fetch quest item like a mushroom, or by the book, looking at it, we know it's not on one of the tablets, but on the other tablet, let's say if it's under a fetch quest item, we'll need the fetch quest item. But other than that, I think potentially Ether and then Ice Rod is go mode for Zelgadissan. I could be mistaken on that.
Right, and since we already know where Ice Rod is, it is really coming down to what exactly is on those two medallion dungeons. If one of those was Ether, we've still got a game. And if not, then at that point, Zelda is going to be showing us exactly how fast he can run through the rest of this game.
And I should mention the mitts are what I meant to say there, because we know where the Ice Rod is. The mitts are what I meant to say. So mitts could be, as soon as mitts are found, that's go mode for Zelgadissan. But if we need a fetch quest item to get them, we're going to have to get that fetch quest item first.
All right, now here's one of the mirror checks that we haven't seen on Scaryolive's side. He goes into Cave 45 over here, looks up and just sees 300 rupees. So he immediately pieces out and says, I've got enough money for today. Thank you.
Yep, I'm well stocked for university education. Thank you, game.
I'm going to be able to pick up his red cane from here, as Zelda, is motoring right down to go into Swamp Palace. So he's probably going to full clear this, which will likely give Scaryolive a chance to catch up if he makes the right play. But right now, he's going to head directly into Death Mountain here. I'm going to pick up a couple of items up here, but where would, I'm trying to think, where could mitts be legitimately at this point?
I'm still going with pedestal. The way that it came up so quickly, I would not be surprised to see him there, but there could be other places where it could be. It could be Let's think. We know it's not in Palace of Darkness.
I'm
We have
thinking-
not seen all of Skull Wood, so it could be in there.
Right, could be Graveyard Ledge, and it also could be Green Pendant, I think.
It could be Green Pendant. And that would make the that would be another play where Scaryolive went to Eastern Palace early. That would be more time lost having to double dip that. So if it is on Green Pendant, that would be more time lost.
This is the problem with that. Unfortunately, this is one of those times where that chicken clip has really, unfortunately, just put Scaryolive right behind the gun, and he is having to just make up so much additional time because of that one little hiccup there has kind of snowballed, and he's still in the game, but he's put himself in a rough situation.
Oh, absolutely. When something like that goes wrong, and this is why I say I think he's a little bit nervous as well. When something like that goes wrong, it just frays on your nerves because you know the quality of the opponent you're going against as he gets his lamp. You know that you have to be on top of your game, and when something goes wrong 3 minutes into the race, and it's because you were trying to show off some swag and try to be cool with the chicken clip. I'm not saying that it's not cool to do that. I do it myself. But when something like that goes wrong and it soft locks the game on you, it just makes you nervous, and it makes you just start to question yourself a little bit. And that may have led to some of the other mistakes that he made as the next little bit came on. But I think he's kind of settled down since. I haven't seen a lot of mistakes in the last little bit, so I think he's settled down now. I think he's getting his game back. It's just a matter of making the right play and getting to a point where he can compete at the end.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, Scaryolive is, just to even have made it this far, he has the skills necessary to do very, very well in this game. If you're in the top 64, as he gets his Ice Rod information up there, if you've made the top 64, you are a very skilled runner.
Yes. Just to remind how the tournament worked, the group phase, well, actually, it wasn't even the group phase. The qualifier phase, there were 20 qualifiers to start out at this tournament. Anyone who wanted to, like even you and I, Days Cloud, could have played if we wanted to. And anyone can play, and the top 128 runners made to the group phase. 2 people emerged from each of the groups that occurred in group phase, and that made our top 64. So it's a 3-stage tournament. That means that at this phase of the tournament, we have the top runners of all the runners that entered.
Right. And at this point, it was some people are starting to trickle over from speed gaming. To kind of give a quick review of what has happened so far. The biggest difference between the 2 runners came in the first 5 minutes of the game, where Scaryolive went for just a kind of a swaggy chicken clip, and in a unlikely but possible situation, soft locked himself. Now, that meant that he missed his glove, he missed a few things that he had to come back to Kakariko later to get. Now, in that time, zelgadissan was able to get himself a quite sizable advantage. And in that time, it has just kind of grown. So that's really the big difference that you're seeing between the 2 runners here. Now, we're running fast Ganon settings as well here. So we're not going to be seeing GT. So this one, when zelgadissan gets all of the items and is in go mode, we're going to be finished very quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a very quick finish at that point. He's only on his 3rd crystal right now. Now, let's remember also that Scaryolive, for those joining us just now from Speed Gaming, welcome again, by the way. I'm Cyclone, joined by Days Cloud. We do have a situation where Scaryolive did the menu simulator version as he gets double hold in Tower of Hera. Oh, that's just not feeling good for Scaryolive right now. Things are just not working for him today. But Scaryolive had to do the menu simulator version of the boss, not having good weaponry for the fight. And as a result, he ended up using his hammer and the hook to hammer the hookshot Argai from the Argus boss. Zelgadissan therefore saved a lot of time on that fight. Being able to use his temper sword made it a lot quicker.
The big thing that we're all missing as well, though, is if you've noticed, we've not done any of the Mitzlock dungeons yet because, well, we haven't found Mitz. And the rough estimate is that they are on either Graveyard Ledge or possibly on Ped today. So we could still have some fun with this seed.
Graveyard Ledge, I think it could be an item in Skull Woods. Other than that, I'm looking at Pedestal. It can't be on Smith Chain. We know that. You need the myths to get the Smith Chain.
Everything else has been checked, and so we get to see zelgadissan's amazing there sprite once you use the book to read the tablet. That was cute.
I wasn't looking. I'll have to go back and watch that later.
He basically sits there in front of his desk there for a minute. It's a fantastic one. All right, and Scaryolive is making his way into his little Moldorm fight, sees if he's going to play nice there. He's getting bullied a little bit, gets his first slash, and it's now showing his displeasure, let's say, with the surroundings. Takes a bonk there off of him and gets his third hit. So Moldorm is exploding, but Scaryolive he's not having it right now.
Yeah, he's doesn't seem to be in a good mood right now. Or should I say he's enjoying himself quite nicely.
Speaking as someone who runs this game a little bit there, I have been known to throw in more than a handful of rage slashes occasionally. It's a good way to kind of show your displeasure for chat.
There are some runners who will just do it for comedic relief. I've seen some runners just intentionally drop bombs on characters after they get a bad item out of them. So
I have
some runners just do it for fun.
I typically kind of do that too if I know I'm being restreamed on like a daily or something here. As Scaryolive is choosing to pick up the bottle that he found in Spectacle Rock Cave. This is something that Zelda decided not to do earlier because he had already picked up the bottle on top of the bumper ledge.
That means the Scaryolive will not need to get the bottle on bumper ledge. So this is kind of good news for him, I guess you could say. If bomb jump fails, he's going to save and quit.
It's not a bad place to save and quit. It does mean that he's going to isolate Spike Cave, but at this point, I don't think he needs to be thinking about checking those locations here. He's going to take out his flute, and this is a good question of where is he going to go next?
I'm kind of waiting to... He can't do back of Skullwoods yet. So that's not... If that's where the Titansman is located on Mothula in the chest there, then we're not going to get to see it yet until zelgadissan goes there or until Scaryolive gets that Fire Rod from Palace of Darkness. He is going to check Sick Kid, though, which is on top of his mind with that bottle pickup, and find out that Sick Kid was not worth the investment, unfortunately.
And yeah, this is what I was kind of wondering. At this point, yeah, I think he's going to start thinking, I need to knock out these pendants. There's not too much else. I wouldn't be surprised if he just is going, you know what, my only hope here is that I need to get myself to that pedestal as quickly as possible.
And he may be making that play right now, knowing that he has to think he's behind at this point, I would say. It's hard to put yourself in the mind of some of these runners, but at this point you have to think he knows he's put himself in a situation where he's behind, and he might be thinking the pedestal play is the only hope I have, so I need to make that play and hope that it's the Titansman.
We pick up a shovel there from Lamo as zelgadissan picks up his fourth crystal. That went really fast there. Now, I don't believe we haven't seen that shovel spot yet, so that opens up another location for those mitts.
No, we have not seen that shovel. That's our first shovel pickup, and I'm sure he could dig that, and he's heading right over there to dig that.
I'm going to say nothing.
Or maybe not. Maybe he's going to go to the Dark World, and then he's going to mirror over there to check it. That's possible, too.
Now that I'm thinking about it, there's another location that we have not checked yet. We have not been to Catfish.
That's right. Will the Catfish be the producer of the mitts?
I mean, I'm not going to say that I've seen many races this tournament for some reason greatly feature that silly fish. But I've seen many races this tournament feature that silly fish.
Well, yeah, everyone goes to visit him, right? What do you mean that's not what you had in mind? Anyway, Scaryolive is in Palace of Darkness. Zelgadissan is getting the K45 check out of the way. That was why he mirrored to check K45.
And something we didn't notice, Scaryolive doesn't have the bow, so he's going to be in here.
Yeah,
but he can't complete this.
We had that early bow. Where was that bow again?
In the back of Escape. It was one of the things that Scaryolive missed because he didn't get the gloves until late. So this is another one of those awkward scenarios, and it looks like Zelgadissan is making his way immediately to go and probably finish out the rest of these pendant dungeons, I imagine. I don't think there's much left for him to do.
So Zelgadissan found his blue mail. It's worth knowing that we have seen both mail upgrades. So in the commentary booth collective, we have seen red mail at this point.
I don't remember where the other mail was.
It was a long time ago. I forget too.
It's somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not somewhere that Zelga just picks it up easily. Maybe that's what was in the big chest in Swamp Palace, because I don't believe Zelgadissan went to the left side.
It might have been in Swamp Palace, actually. Yeah, I think it was in Swamp Palace.
That was the only item that I think we didn't see there, and I don't think Zelga is going to have any interest in going back to Swamp Palace for a single item at this point. Oh, could have been in Eastern Palace.
Oh yeah, it might have been Eastern Palace.
I don't remember.
It's
been a long trip so far.
I know it was in a dungeon, and if it was, it's probably in these first two chests right here that I think we would have seen it, because it's very possible it was in here. That was a map.
Olive has finally picked up his fire rod on the side over here, so with any luck, he'll probably be able to make his way over and maybe give us that back of Skull Woods check there, which could get them back into this game here a little bit.
What do you say? Second bow on Mothula?
Second bow where?
Second bow on Mothula?
Oh, sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Let's make it interesting.
Let's just throw it there and just make it so that, hey, guess what? No, you really need to go do the pedestal today. That's your answer.
Yeah. So Scaryolive is unfortunately not going to be able to complete this dungeon while he's here, but he did get the very, very much needed item of usefulness, the fire rod, which will give him another target for visiting later on. Let's see where he decides to go. He might be going straight over to Skull Woods. The writing is on the wall for him. That fire rod told him, yep, this is where I need to go. There's that red mail. Whoever in chat said it was Eastern Palace, absolutely correct. Big chest. Thank you for the reminder. So now we have our first red mail on the scene. Not important for the run at all. Having red mail is not urgent in any way. It just provides extra protection. So Scaryolive is going down to the portal. We're going to head up, I believe, to Skull Woods immediately. There it is, going north. Zelgadissan is going to be coming to the big key chest, and the big key chest, I don't believe had anything in it. So Zelgadissan is going to continue to the back and face the Armos Knights when he's done. Oh, it was the Arrow of Destiny. My apologies. I shouldn't say that's nothing. There's a comment in chat, question in chat, what items can never be on PED? Depending on the settings, almost any item can be on pedestal, but in a 7.7c, there are items that cannot be on pedestal, such as, for example, a lamp, because at least 4 dungeons require the lamp. It might be possible with the advanced logic to have the lamp there now, but that's an example of an item that can't be there because the logic typically will require it most of the time. So the odds of it happening is, even if it can happen, is very, very low. But any other items that... Almost anything else can be on pedestal. Almost anything else depending on the dungeon layouts.
Alright, and it looks like Scaryolive is, well, we're gonna get that back of Skull Woods check here. It's gonna go first to the chest underneath the bridge down here and see if this is where our mitts are hiding.
So here's our first spear of the Armos Knights. Zelgadissan going for the quick kill, gets 5 arrows out to put 2 in one of the Knights. And again, just single chain, quickly kill all the others. By doing it that way, that saves a couple seconds by having the other Knight not have a chance to turn red. Just a couple seconds, but again, some races have been ties, so those couple seconds matter.
Alright, and with that, we're gonna get a quick check of what our green pendant is going to be here, because like we've been mentioning, we're running out of items really quickly here.
If this is the Titan's Mitt, this could be a fatal situation.
This is hard to say, and hey, guess what you just said.
This is a fatal situation.
Yep, there were your Titan's mitts. They were hiding on the green pendant there early. So, in a kind of a strange thing, if you were willing to break Eastern Palace there at the very beginning of the game, you could have had that from quite early. As Scaryolive there goes ahead, takes down Mothula, is rewarded with the compass. So the items weren't there, and it's a Bombos entry for Meyer. At this point, what you're hoping for, if you're Scaryolive, is just go ahead and rush Ped and hope that maybe the Ether Medallion's on it. Zelgadissan has been just motoring through this seed in just a very, very quick fashion.
Yeah, and we don't even know if the Ether Medallion is needed yet, because we don't know what's going to open Turtle Rock. So we'll have to see if Turtle Rock ends up being necessary. This is 10 shots with the bow. We don't need the pedestal. That could be bad, though, because that could lead him away from Eastern Palace, and as a result, it could lead him away from his Titan's Mitts. He's going to eventually be shoehorned into doing Eastern Palace.
There's not a whole lot left for him to check. I'm at this point, we're kind of need Scaryolive to make his way over to Eastern Palace there. Apparently, he got a bow out of Skull Woods. Someone's saying, but
oh, I didn't even catch
yeah,
that.
Either, but I'm gonna need to probably get a quick double check here when he pulls open his menu.
It had to be in the back half, which is actually exactly what I said. It's probably in the back half of Skull Woods. I'm 2 for 2 today. Yay.
Yeah, not too bad there. Well, as we are an hour into this race here, we are here on Speed Gaming 2 with A Link to the Past Randomizer tournament here, and this is a Game 2 match between Scaryolive and Zelgadissan. We've got a fast scan in settings here, and to be honest, these guys have been putting on a really good race for us tonight. If you could, I know that they would appreciate if you could go ahead and give these guys a follow. It's difficult to do what they are doing right now, and every little bit, yeah, that really helps for them. Also, big shout out to our tracker today, Yoinker's wife, who is clicking the buttons behind the scene and keeping us all on track here.
Now, it's worth knowing that Zelgadissan is operating in go mode right now. He may not look like, because he needs the ice rod for Turtle Rock, but he knows where the ice rod is. He knows it's at the Lonely Island up on Death Mountain, so he can go back up there at his leisure and get that whatever, as long as he hasn't forgotten that, of course. The only thing he could be working on that he might need, and maybe he's not operating go mode for this reason, he could still need the Ether.
What? And Scaryolive just found Ether as you were saying that in the pinball room in Skull Woods. That's a huge find, possibly.
I wasn't even calling that, by the way. I just said Zelgadissan may need Ether, and Scaryolive just finding that right there in Skull Woods could literally be one of those things again that if Zelgadissan doesn't go back to Skull Woods, Scaryolive can get back into the race, but he's going to have to. Scaryolive has to have everything go right for him for that to happen at this point.
Hey, yeah, this is actually kind of working out for Scaryolive, because it looks like he's about to go into the back of Escape here, so he's actually going to get silvers as well, probably. So or is this just the graveyard check? Okay, well, we'll have to see which one he's going to do here, but this is not over yet. Now that Scaryolive has found Ether versus Zelda not having it, we've still got some things that we could find.
Yeah. Zelgadissan, meanwhile, taking out the eyeballs, and the eyeballs have been taken out. Now for the big eyeball. And the big eyeball, he's going to be... He got the mirror out for some reason. Why did he get the mirror out?
We'll be fluting away immediately after this. So that's crystal number 5 for Zelgadissan.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He'll be using the mirror and then fluting away. So, Scaryolive needs to have Ether be necessary for Turtle Rock right now, and Zelgadissan will have to be shoehorned back into looking for that, for Scaryolive to be back in this race. If Turtle Rock is either Bombos or Quake, Zelgadissan will be in go mode as soon as he checks that.
And we're still going to be waiting to see this, to see if what exactly is the requirement for Turtle Rock. We're not going to get that information until Zelgadissan goes ahead and defeats Ice Palace here.
Scaryolive is doing backup escape just now.
This is good. This picks up his silvers in that chest right there, and he's going to take that He's going to take that key and he's going to go check Dark Cross, which unfortunately is not going to have anything that he needs.
So we are going to get our Ice Palace clear. Zelgadissan, I don't know if he's going to still be looking for Ether. If so, he has to open everything, but he may gamble that it's not in here and that he may not need it.
That's exactly what he's doing there. He immediately just cycled right out of that first check in Ice Palace. So he's operating 100% in go mode. So that in his mind, he's going to go up to Turtle Rock and be able to pick up and just walk right in.
Yeah,
we don't know if that's going to be true.
I don't know if he's actually checked the medallion and we missed it. If so, then he would know he's in go mode and we don't. I might have to check that quickly.
He's not been up there yet, so
I didn't think so either.
Yeah, because mitts were so late that nobody has actually seen what the medallion is for Turtle Rock right now. So we've still got to find out exactly what's going to happen here, as it looks like Scaryolive right now might give us that check earlier than... Well, no, he can't. So this is just a Spike Cave check. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's doing the one-off checks on that mitts hunt right now.
Unfortunately, while the mitts are the item he does definitely have to find, we know where they are. They are located on the green pendant. That means that you have to get to Hasserau. That means that he has to go back to Eastern Palace with those silver arrows and bullet kill those Armos Knights in order to get to the Titans mitts.
If you're a Scaryolive fan right now, you're just really, really hoping that when Zelgadissan goes up to Turtle Rock, that it shows the Ether Medallion, because otherwise, right now, this is a commanding lead there for Zelgadissan.
And even if it does show Ether, he's going to be pushed back down the mountain, and he's probably just going to go straight to Skull Woods because there's not going to be a lot of other places for him to go. He's done the other 2 pendant dungeons, so he'll probably just go straight to Skull Woods, clear it. He hasn't seen the pedestal yet, so he can be playing on the pedestal play as well. He'll find the Ether eventually in Skull Woods, and he'll forego the pedestal, or he'll check the pedestal and he'll go back and check Skull Woods, one or the other. So one way or the other, we're either going to see a pedestal pull, or we're going to just have him get Ether out of Skull Woods and he'll go straight back up.
What could also happen is Scaryolive could be making the right play and going into Eastern Palace and getting his green pendant in just right as we speak.
He's doing that.
Oh man, this is for everything that has happened in this seed, seeing a chicken clip go awry and everything else, a fair amount of intrigue at just about an hour and 10 minutes in. We're about to get the information right now what Turtle Rock is and whether or not we've really still got quite a race yet.
So Zelgadissan will be up at the Turtle Rock location in about a minute, and we will be extremely interested in seeing what is found to be the medallion to enter. If it is Ether, Zelgadissan cannot enter. He'll be heading over to Hookshot. Actually, no, he'll probably head over to Hookshot Cave. Check that. Won't find it there. Going to head right back down the mountain after doing as many checks as he can. Sweet Bunny Cave, I think we have to still see. If it's been checked, I missed that, unfortunately. But he'll check whatever he can. Then he's going to head right back down, probably go straight to Skull Woods. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Zelgadissan has to come out really fast and get that ice rod. So, man, yeah, if you're a Scaryolive fan right now, you've got to start chanting Ether in your head.
So here it is. Are we going to have Ether, or is Zelgadissan going to be in go mode? We'll know in about 3 seconds as Zelgadissan enters the portal, and we see it is Ether! Ladies and gentlemen, it is still a race.
Oh my. Oh, okay. So, yeah, we are still going here. Now,
he might go back to Ice Palace.
Because like he didn't check a single thing in Ice Palace.
Yeah.
He's not going to find it up here. I mean, I completely understand the play. You had a 66% chance of being right. Unfortunately, you're not this time. And Scaryolive is about to turn in the green pendant that he just got for silver killing those Armos Knights and get over to Sasharala and pick up his mitts.
Something important to note, he hasn't picked up Bombos yet, so he's supposed to get Bombos from, I think it's somewhere on Death Mountain. He's still, unless we just don't have it marked.
Bombos was in Spiral Cave as well, so that's, oh no, so he's not going to be able to actually act like he's in go mode either. That is really unfortunate.
And at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 29 seconds, Scaryolive can finally lift very heavy rocks.
All right, now he's going to make his way over to Meyer, and he's going to get the bad news here.
Yeah, this will be a nightmare situation for him. 2 out of 3 chance, and going to head up to the entry medallion. There's a mushroom for Zelgadissan, so you might check that now. And there's the bad news for Scaryolive, and okay, another thing I have to find.
And we're with it being Spiral Cave. Oh man, that's his best chance is now that he has mitts. He decides, you know what? Let me go Turtle Rock and hopefully be able to just clear that out immediately.
It's fast scan. There's no reason not to do Turtle Rock here because you don't have to budget your trip up the mountain. He's going to go do Desert Palace right now because he's here.
I mean, that is a good point you bring up there, but I mean, to be honest, a lot of runners, I know there's an adjustment period in between modes, and trying to get yourself out of that mindset of, oh, Turtle Rock needs to be my last dungeon, it can be really difficult.
Zelgadissan leaves Death Mountain. Is he going to... He is heading to the village. He's going to go to Skull Woods. This is going to put him in go mode. Unless... No, he's... Oh, he used the flute again. He's trying to use the flute again. He doesn't want to be here. He's leaving here. He is going to his house. Is he going... He is going back to Ice Palace.
Maybe he's going to that one chest he left in Swamp?
Oh, boy.
To say here, yeah. Like, this is a nightmare scenario for the runners. Yes, this could be Pyramid Fairy as well.
It could be, yeah, I see that.
This is really hard to say exactly what they're doing. This is one of those things that you hate being in. Yeah, you hate being in this mode if you're a runner because it is that the medallions are just like the Ice Rod where you have to run around all of Hyrule and try to figure out where on earth are these complete...
Where are my coins?
Yeah, it's terrible. It is an awful feeling.
And the coins are not something you want to look for. You want to find those, get them out of the way early, and have it be something else nasty that you have to find. Not the coins, not the optional items.
Right. Scaryolive picks up his fourth crystal? Fourth crystal there.
Yeah, fourth.
By defeating Lanmo there. Zelgadissan is going to give us our first look at the Pyramid Fairy.
We know that there's nothing really useful there. Ether will be go about. We know where Ether is. So Pyramid Fairy is not going to be anything that we're interested in seeing. If he already has a gold sword, he won't find silver arrows here. Boots could be the only thing that would be useful here.
Even then,
there's our mirror shield.
Even then, if you find boots, that's actually probably something terrible in this time, because that just gives you additional checks that pulls you away from the ones that you need to be doing.
At this point, finding boots would indeed do that. I agree. So boots could be a bit of a red herring for either runner at this point. There is another bottle, so if you want to know where another bottle was, Scaryolive just found it at Checkboard Cave.
All right, now Scaryolive, where are you going to go? Are you going to head up the mountain there? Because that could put you into go mode, but unfortunately, it looks like Ice Palace is his choice here.
Zelda going to be checking our lovely friend, the catfish, but first he's going to be checking the mushroom, because the mushroom is something that he can turn in. He's going to be using the warp portal here instead of leaving the screen, because this does count in some weird way as leaving the screen. He got a bonk. I don't know if it works on a bonk. Apparently it does.
It does work on a bonk. It's fantastic that way.
Nice. That's a quick way to do it then. And there's your bug catching net. So at least we now know we can beat Agnum if we need to, but we're not going to go there. That is a joke, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking. I'm looking at the idea of going to catfish. Now, all of these runners are checking things. We know where the items they need are, but they don't know, and it's kind of a brutal situation.
I'm gonna call boots on catfish. It's just, that's what Scaryolive needs. He needs the boots to show up Zelgadissan to do these other checks, and that would actually help Scaryolive and make it a lot closer, I think. Nope, just bomb.
Okay, no. So finally, you got one wrong.
Good. I had to prove I'm not a witch. I had to prove it.
There we go. Okay, so now Zelda pulls out his flute, and he's going to go on down to 6 here. So I'm guessing he's going to start going back through Mire. This could be a long time before he gets into Skull Woods to pick up that ether.
It could be. This is a fascinating race just because of how both runners have taken completely different paths, and they're going to be converging, even with all the mistakes that Scaryolive made, all the extra routing that Zelgadissan's going to end up having to do, looking for this one stupid coin, is going to lead him all over the place trying to find it, and it could be a while before, like, Scaryolive could be back in this race.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this. Now, for everybody who, it looks like the race over on Speed Gaming 1 did finally conclude here. So if you're just joining us now, this has been a fun race to watch. There's been a bit of unfortunate start there for Scaryolive, where he went for the chicken clip at the very beginning of the game. It unfortunately soft locked himself out of there, which meant he missed a lot of very useful items like the glove and a couple of other things, which put him behind the 8-ball, so to speak, from the beginning here. And he's been trying to regain the time since then. On the other hand, Zelgadissan was just motoring through the game without any problem until he got to Turtle Rock and found out that, oh, it's ether. I don't have ether.
Gotta interrupt you here. Zelgadissan is going to Skull Woods. We know that he's going to find what he needs in this area, I believe, and that should put him into go.
Right, that's going to be the play right there, because his ether medallion is sitting in the pinball room over here, so that's gonna probably put the nail in the coffin for Scaryolive.
Yeah, we know exactly where it is. And the pinball room, by the way, for those who might not be familiar with the current version of the randomizer, the chest it's in is a chest that used to always, 100% of the time, be a small key. It was like the first chest in Swamp. It was always a small key, because the way the developers originally had the game set up is that, or at least for a while, is that you couldn't soft lock yourself in there, and that's why the key was there, so you could avoid soft locking yourself. Now it's more of a case of carpe diem. If you win unprepared, you're saving and quitting. So Zelgadissan is going to take out Mothula first. I can't blame him for doing this. It's actually going to give him his silver arrows, which is a nice to have. He's going to check the pedestal while he's in the area, find out that it's just shots with the bow. He may not take out Mothula based on that, but the question is, will he still do that looking for the ether? I would at this point. So he probably will take out Mothula anyway to see if the ether is there. Then he's just going to check the rest of the chests and know that he doesn't have to go back and do... well, at least he knows he doesn't have to check the pedestal now. This would be his last pendant anyway.
And Scaryolive was able to pick up the half magic there out of the freezer room chest in Ice Palace. Also finding 50 rupees there. So hopefully that's given him all 3 items that he needs. And he decides, you know what, enough of this. I'm going directly to Colds there. It looks like that's what he's doing. Zelgadissan picks up his silver arrows there, like you mentioned.
So he'll be happy to have them, but it's not the item that he wanted. It'll just save him time on the Ganon fight. That's it.
And again, for those who are just joining us there, the settings for this seed are fast Ganon. So that's the moment that Zelgadissan makes his way back to the front of Skull Woods there and picks up his Ether Medallion, he will be in go mode. And at that point, it is a matter of just getting up to Death Mountain there and beating up Turtle Rock.
And the clock is ticking now for Scaryolive. He has to hurry his way through these dungeons, but he still has to get that bomb boost off of Death Mountain, so he's still not out of the woods himself. Right. So that's the difference, those coins.
Right, and the big thing for him is that hopefully that's where he goes next, because I can't see any reason why he wouldn't go up there. Now, the big question for him is he going to remember that he needs to do Spiral Cave to get that Bombos medallion, because he skipped that the other time that he was up there.
Now, Zelgadissan could have used the mirror here and actually left the pedestal area, or left the pendant sitting there. He knows he doesn't have to check the pedestal now, so he could have mirrored out. Maybe he's didn't think about that. It's 10 seconds, but still 10 seconds. So the mirror could have been used. He could have left the pendant there. He could have left.
Okay, Scaryolive is making the right play for him here. It might be just a little bit, at this point, too little too late, because Zelgadissan is making his way back to the front of Skull Woods. Now, if you're a Scaryolive fan, you're hoping that Zelgadissan has miscounted his items and just goes right past it.
That's all you can hope for at this point. But he is heading in the general direction of it, and he's probably going to be finding it in about 30 seconds or less. So there's the small key, or one of these small keys. He's going to open the next chest here. I don't remember what was here, but we'll see it again. It was the big key.
And this very next chest is going to put him into go mode.
So after all that coin hunting, at 1 hour, actually, I'll hold that a second. At 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 10 seconds, Zelgadissan is in go mode.
All right, now this is going to be a quick mirror, a quick flute up to Turtle Rock, and at that point, he is just going to fly through that dungeon here. Now, Scaryolive is actually going to probably be in the same place that he is there, but the difference is that Scaryolive will only be completing his 6th dungeon, because that Bombos medallion, like we said, unfortunately is sitting in cave right now.
Yeah, and it's still amazing to think he's only a few minutes behind. They've taken completely different paths. They've had completely different portions on those paths. And Scaryolive is really only a few minutes behind with the Misery Buyer.
Definitely. I mean, Scaryolive has really, considering some of the unfortunate mistakes here, like flooding the key and swamp, and, like we mentioned, the chicken clip misadventure, has really put up a valiant fight here against Zelda, who, as we know, is actually very highly regarded runner.
Did he get the ice rod? Because it's not lit up on his inventory.
He's getting the ice rod right now. So Zelda also already has the ice rod.
Yeah, Scaryolive I know is going to get the ice rod right now. I didn't see it lit up on Zelda, so I didn't know if he picked it up or not.
And probably just one of those cases of you clicked the tracker buttons and the tracker decided, hey, not this time.
Yeah, that does happen. Sometimes the tracker will lean in, but it's happened to me when I was tracking too.
Right, and it's time to start our last dungeon here for Zelgadissan. So this should be pretty quick. And
for those of you who are on standby to enter numbers for the Big Key Guessing game, don't. We're not going to be playing that today, but we'll just come up with an alternate game of some form.
My personal favorite is the one that I came up with, where counting the Ganon warps in phase 3.
Yeah, someone gave me that idea too, and we ran with it one race. We might do that again.
That's a good one.
Ooh, Zelgadissan getting a shocking experience from that jellyfish. Gonna have to remake this platform. That's gonna cost him some magic.
Those things are just jerks.
They're jerks. I've seen an Randomizer, a chain chomp at the entrance to the path leading to the chain. A chain chomp leading in the path leading to the chain chomp room as you get off the platform. That was a jerk.
They are, yeah. That happens quite often with Randomizer. It's part of the fun. The fun
it is.
of
it
Randomizer.
is.
We'll call it that.
Oh, it's fun to watch. So Zelgadissan getting his big key. He will be able to skip the Lava Island chest. That means that he's going to steal that key. I might be asking, why would he steal that key? Why would he not have to go open that chest? Well, since it's behind a locked door, you'd be opening a locked door to go get a key out of a chest, possibly. So if it's anything else, you're just wasting that key. You have to go to Laser Bridge. So he's going to save that key.
The biggest question will be is if there is at last in one of those last checks and not in the big chest in Turtle Rock, because that's the only thing that could really catch you going through here. But the good news with something like that is that if you do that, there's a reasonable chance that your opponent's going to do the same exact thing.
I think I've seen both approaches in a race. One depending on someone not having one item and the other one having the item. We got to see both approaches in one race before. That was kind of cool. So we're going to try not to get too close to the door because that could cause him to accidentally unlock the door. He does not want to do that. There's the key. Thank you very much.
Sorry, that bunny sprite was classic.
Yeah, while we're talking about sprites, just a huge shout out to the developers not the developers, but the sprite designers who make all the great sprites that we have in this game. I think we're somewhere about 150, 200 sprites that we have to choose from now. Just a huge selection of almost anything you can think of. From Pokemon to other starring characters. I like Kirby myself in there. Mario, Final Fantasy characters, Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you name it, it's probably in there.
Oh yeah, Twilight Princess Zelda for life.
There you go.
And Zelda is making his way quickly to the back there. Unfortunately, it looks like Laser Bridge is in his future here. Scaryolive, yeah, this is one of the problems for Scaryolive. Since he is not actually in go mode, he is going to be opening every single chest in Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, he has not found Spiral Cave Bombos on his trip. Now, the good news is Turtle Rock, you won't lose too much time, but at this point, seconds matter because Zelda is literally on a runaway go mode train right now.
What's even better for him is this is the one application of the mirror shield that's actually useful, is blocking these lasers. Outside of that, you never go out of your way to pick it up because it just kind of lags the game and it blocks your beautiful sprite. Nobody likes that.
It's either that or the Cane of Burner would be the two things that would, by logic, make Laser Bridge accessible. Now, we are playing in advanced logic, so you may not need to have the mirror shield or the Cane of Burner to go there in the advanced logic. Same with the Fire Rod being available in some of the dark rooms. But in basic logic, which you can still play with, we're not in this tournament, but which you can still play with nonetheless, you would be logically able to get Cane of Burno or even the Cape or the Mirror Shield to get through Laser Bridge. And I actually have seen a pedestal with the Cane of Burno once that was logically required for Laser Bridge. So it's kind of humorous. Obviously, they didn't pick it up.
Right, and as Zelgadissan is on a Trinex fight here with Gold Sword and all of the magic that he possibly needs. So say goodbye to Trinex because he's not going to be on the screen for very much longer. Well,
he is going to be for just a couple seconds more, but a couple spin slashes and a stab, and that'll probably take it out. There it is. So say bye, Trinex. Bye, Trinex.
Trinex.
So So, with that said, we get our compass. We now have crystal number 7. And, ladies and gentlemen, get your guesses in chat for the extra Ganon Warps game, which we're going to play in lieu of the Big Key Guessing game. How this will work is Ganon in Phase 3 has to have a number of warps. We're not going to run the bot either, by the way. But has to have a number of warps that may follow his initial warp. He will have one initial warp. We're going to count the extra warps following those initial warps, and that will be the number we come up with for the winner of our extra game today. So, based on that, what are you going to go with, Days Cloud?
Man, watching Ganon warp around the thing and kind of driving the runners nuts is incredibly entertaining, and it's always consistent, which is kind of nice. So let's give him a lot here. Let's go something like let's go with 16. How do you feel?
I usually would say always 11, but this is not the Big Key game, so I'm not obligated to that guess. I'm just going to go with, we usually like to see a few warps there. I usually like to see at least one baddie one. There have been scenes where I've seen 2 or 3, just by the way they work out. But they're very rare. I'm going to say that we have a nice good old 7 to go with the normal 11. So I got a 7-11 pairing here.
I feel like that's a pretty reasonable guess here. So Zelgadissan is about to walk his way up the pyramid here, get to the top and realize that, oh, Ganon's been here the entire time waiting for me.
Oh, surprise. Oh, I can actually beat him. Good, I can leave the wizard alive. Why rule over stereotypes? Excellent. So Ganon is going to have 4 phases. Phase 1, throw the trident and miss. Phase 2, spin a bunch of fire around you and miss. And then turn them into fire bats and most likely miss. Oh, he got a hit.
Give
Lucky.
that fire bat a raise.
There's
that one got over there.
We're at 2 warps already, so now we're going to start counting the game and see what we have. No extra warps there. That warp is mandatory. So going to move warp over to here. No warp there. My 7 is not looking good.
My 16 is almost dead right now.
3, 4, 5. 5 is the winner, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to try and get a quick shout out here if I find a 5 for Bane229. We're not going to worry about a prize, so we don't have a lot of time. Silver Arrow is going to make this a quick fight. So congratulations, Bane, on winning the extra Ganon Warps guessing game. And congratulations, Zelgadissan, on defeating Ganon. We are going to have a race winner in just a moment. If he can successfully cross this bridge, he will be the 2-0 winner. He will send Scaryolive home, and he will move on to the round of 32 if he can cross this bridge safely. Can he do it? You bet he can. And his final official SRL time is 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 22 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. And Scaryolive, he looks like promptly forfeit immediately as that no signal on his stream shows.
All right, and looks like we're going to have both, at least Zelgadissan here, hopping in to have a quick chat with us here in just a second. But yeah, GG's to him. It was a great race, and it looks like he'll be moving on. If I'm looking at the brackets right, looks like he's moving on for his next match against Gem, which that should be one to put a star by.
No question. It's going to be a very... the match is going to get more and more intense as time goes on, because we're going to have all the top-tier runners literally starting to run into each other. They're going to have to knock each other out to get to those finals. So it's going to be very exciting as we go on here, and as we welcome Zelgadissan to the broadcast booth, as well as Scaryolive. GG both.
Hey, GG, Scaryolive. This was a rough seed, man.
Yeah, GG, Zelga. Was an honor playing you in this bracket, and I hope you good luck on the remaining of the tournament.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone in this bracket is a killer, so there's no easy matches here. So I'm just happy to be moving on, and GG's again, because I know you're a great runner, and I'm looking forward to more races with you in the future.
So you both had misadventures with coins in this seed. How did you like this seed? Zelda, you go ahead and go first.
Oh, man. You know, I felt really good having the read. You know, we got the super early bow. And it only unlocks one thing in Eastern, so screw that. Let's focus on pod, and we'll do that very first. And we get the fire on. It felt so great. But then I just cleared the first pendant pod as my first dungeon. I don't really want to commit to doing pendant Skull Woods as my second. So like, well, I'll just kind of poke my head in, check one chest, and then bail because I got the cape as well. And man, I just never got back there until right about the end of the seed. Whenever I'd already been go-moding the last few dungeons thinking I was fine, and then Secret Ether on Turtle Rock.
And Scaryolive, you had your misadventure with a different coin.
Oh yeah, Spiral Cave is my bane. I lost another match in this tournament ago because I skipped this, and I don't know why. It seems always like, oh, it's a good skip, and then it is not. But I think the lesson here is never skip, but I was feeling like I needed to do some skip to get back in here tonight, so I don't regret it, but it sucks a little bit.
Now, there is a question that I do have to ask here, and I think chat will murder me if I do not ask this question. The first few minutes of the race, you had a misadventure with a bomb and a chicken.
Yep. It's the first time it ever happens to me. Like I didn't even try to go for the chicken clip. I was just waiting there, and because I'm mashing my buttons, and I didn't know what happened, and I was like, oh, damn. And then from there, I felt like, okay, Galaxy Brain, I'm gonna avoid Kakariko until I get like flute or something. I'm not gonna go back there. So I checked everything, and I found nothing. And then when I get back there and found the gloves, I felt so behind. And then I shifted my mind from like just playing standard to, okay, we're in backup mode. So, and then I tried to do some plays, and then from there I was just out of it because the flooding the key and stuff. It's just because I wasn't concentrating anymore. I was just like, I knew I was losing, and I was just like, I was playing for the form. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy this match from that point.
Yeah, we sensed that you were. We thought that maybe the chicken clip had something to do with it. We sensed that you felt you were not on your game. We felt that you might have been nervous.
Yeah, I was very tilted from. Right, I think the chicken, that was not so bad when it happened. I felt, but then when I found nothing anywhere else, and then when I flooded the key, I was so tilted, like I kind of gave up a little bit.
Completely understandable at that point. When you have that sort of unfortunate luck at the very beginning, because that's actually a really difficult thing to pull off, to soft lock in that room, but you unfortunately were able to do it today. But
second time I've seen it.
Yeah, it's not a common situation there, but you did a really good job of pulling yourself back into contention in this race here, and you've done really well to make it this far here. So congratulations on getting to this point.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, getting to this point of the tournament was my goal when I started this tournament. So I'm very happy with my results. I know what I need to do for next year. I'm gonna go all in an NMG for a few months until the league starts, and I think I need to really homer in on this execution. Like, I rewatched yesterday's race, and I see the big value of the execution. Like, all the little things counts, and man, when I see the crisp Zelda play compared to mine, like I know I have the rotting inside of me, but I just need to get better at execution. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I think you kind of hit on the head. The really top players at the Rando know how to do all the things that the NMG runners do, and being able to have those kinds of things in your bag of tricks and things you can just pull out and do whenever you need them really comes in handy, because it really saves those extra seconds that top runners are able to save to get themselves to the top all the time. So absolutely, I completely agree with your idea behind that. And if you can work on your NMG and get some extra skill doing some of those, then that would make you even more fearsome than you already are in the top 64.
Yeah.
And looking ahead here, to kind of to go back to Zelda there. So you're moving on to face Gem in the round of 32 there. So how are you feeling about that?
That's a good question, because when you're in a tournament like this and you want to be like the competitive nature, you want to play the best of the best, and it's hard to come up with somebody you'd rather play more than Gem. And then from a continuing on in the tournament stats, like you want to win the thing, there's almost nobody that you'd want to see less than Jim. So it's a pretty much a coin flip there on the good and the bad. But I'm looking forward to it. Jim is an amazing runner. I won't be surprised by any result of that match. I don't think I could consider myself the objective favorite there. So we'll just see what happens. And yeah.
And with that said, Scaryolive, obviously this is the end of the tournament for you. So any last thoughts you have as you leave the tournament?
And I wish Zelda all the best. I'm rooting for Doomtap to win it all. It's one of my friends, but probably not gonna happen. Otherwise, let's go all of the French community people. You have to represent Linden, Bonta, Ninban. But yeah, if Zelda wins, I won't be disappointed either. So I'm gonna keep watching and maybe do some commentary in French and stuff.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I know you do the French commentary, so I know we've seen you do some of that already. So definitely, we love to have that. And obviously, Speed Gaming appreciates that as well. I just want to say that this, even though there were obviously some mistakes that made it a little bit made it seem a little lopsided at times, it was still a fantastic race to watch. Scaryolive, you had a couple of advantages yourself with the mirror at one point and the ether medallion that Zelgadissan had to hunt for, and that gave you the chance to get back in the race. It was just too much to overcome with some of the early mistakes. Obviously, if those, and I know I don't mean to say that, but if those didn't smooth out, this could have been a really, really close race. Or if a different play had been made somewhere with Spiral K, for example, this could have been a really, really close race. So, still a fascinating race to watch. It's amazing to see how you both diverged and took different routes, and you still end up still being only a few minutes behind.
Yeah, no, I will never know. Like, I wish I didn't clip the and see how this race pans out. But it is what it is. It is rando. It is life, and that's all right. Happy to have race today.
It was a great race. So definitely thank you for participating in the tournament. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one for sure. And again on commentary, as you said. And Zelgadissan, good luck to you in the next round as well. Now that the results have come for Zelgadissan, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up here. So any last thoughts you have, Days Club, before we start talking about the schedule here?
No, thanks to both of the runners there. Give them a follow if you can. They put on a great show. Best of luck, Zelga, in your next matches there. Scaryolive, I'll see you in the league matches as well, probably. Other than that, thanks to Yoinker's wife for doing our tracking, and thanks to my co-commentator Cyclone for hanging out with us while we are watching this great match. Everybody, have a great night.
And thank you for joining me as well, Days. I think it's the first time I've comped with you personally. I don't remember if I've comped with you before. So thank you for joining me as well. And everyone, make sure you give Days Cloud a follow as well. Let's just talk about the schedule for tomorrow very quickly. There are 4 races on the schedule for tomorrow. Channels have been assigned for 3 of them. I don't know if the 4th was getting a channel or not, but ones confirmed are Ninban and Kappa. They're going to race at 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time on Speed Gaming 2, which is where we are right now. So again, make sure you follow Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 2 through 6, especially this channel if you want to catch that race tomorrow. Speed Gaming 3 is going to be featuring Big Dunker versus Jay Meisher at 8:20 p.m., so an hour and a half later. So around the time that first race is dropping up, you'll be able to hop over to Speed Gaming 3 and catch that race. Or you may want to watch McLean versus Frostbite 3030, which will be happening at the same time on Speed Gaming 4. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a game 3. So that may help you decide which one you want to watch here. That's a game 3. The Big Dunker versus Jay Meisher is game 2. Ninban versus Kappa is game 1. So make sure you catch those tomorrow. That 4th race that is just recently added to the schedule probably will get a channel later, but I can't say at this point. Wayne versus Lin is going to a game 3. It looks like that was confirmed, and that is scheduled for 7:20 if and when that gets a channel. So keep an eye on the schedule to see where that shows up, and you may want to tune in for that one as well. So with that said, I want to thank you again, chat, for watching as well. If it wasn't for you, we'd just be sitting here yakking at each other. So thank you for watching us yak at each other. Come back for all our random tomorrow and all the round to come in the future rounds of this tournament. We still have a lot of round to play before we get to the final 2 and we determine who wins this tournament. Love to have you here for it. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see another race coming up right after this in our YouTube playlist. But other than that, see you next time. May not all your seeds be pet seeds. Have a good night or morning or afternoon, whatever it is for you. See you later.